Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here, and for the first time I'd like to formally introduce you to the RockBot. Now the RockBot is a automated trading system I've been working on for a good year now, and it's really based off the high probability methodology that I teach every day live and trade with. My reason in the beginning of building this is because during the show, and I broadcast every day live, covering the markets from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, a little plug for myself. But, taking questions, analyzing stocks and stuff, lots of times we miss some opportunities in the market. My opportunities are very good opportunities. They're high probability setups that I've traded for many years. And I started trading back in '96 full time. So you can imagine after, a couple decades of trading, you start to weed out what doesn't work and you start to gather what does and keep it close to you. So over time I've started to really put everything into a methodology, and I said, well, it's all good. I teach it, everything works great. I love my swing trades, but when I try to apply them to the scalps, I'm not on top of it. I'm doing too many other things. I'm getting distracted. I'm not seeing everything I want to see. So hence the bot that identifies these for me. So basically it's, when I teach a divergence setup, I teach a 1 minute divergence setup, that has to do with, price versus stochastics and certain parameters that I like to do. So if all these have been coded into this, and now it identifies them and takes the trades for me. Now I use it as an identification type of bot where I get the alert. I know it's happening because I'm not searching for it. The bot is letting me know it's happening. Then I take a look at it. If I like it, I take the trade. But it can automatically take trades too. So the bot here at this point is, we consider it in beta, but it's very close to being completed. It's a working item now that we have featured on Day Trading Radio. It has its own bot channel where subscribers can get it, and lifetime members of Day Trading Radio get it included in their lifetime along with the tradeometer. So the tradeometer is another order indicator, and we use them too. And I'm kind of announcing today that we've started to pair the two. We found out that the RockBot is so good in identifying the HPS methodology setups, but the tradeometer has its own genius. It works on multiple time frames. So what I wanted to do is kind of overlap the performance of the tradeometer, which you see on your screen right here. It's a beautiful order entry indicator. The green represents oversold levels. The red is overbought levels. And when these line up, like the last one of the day was right over here. When these line up, the last one of the day, and we look at the, in this case, we're going to go back over here to the bot. Let me get to the bot here. Now we're going to go to our last trade of the day right here. This was the 1 minute, and it overlaid perfectly with the tradeometer. And that was what we consider a high probability setup. And you can see the bigger moves off of this. Now I was just looking back at this today, and I'm running some scans right now, and I said, you know what, I gotta start, discussing how we're gonna release this. This is working really good. I mean, you can just see it ripping the market. I mean, it's amazing when you see it come in and then the market take off and then take profits and go short and then come back, and then trailing stops come in. There was another long. It takes profits, shorts, they come back down. Long goes back up. I mean, even in the volatility, it's banging through here. Now again, something that you could automatically run yourself, or you could just have that identify the setups for you. Now, what setups are they identifying? Good question you ask. And again, the high probability methodology comes with about 5 really great trading trade plans or trade setups. I call them, they're out of the trade playbook, the HPS trade playbook. And I'm going to show you what they are. And just right now, I'm going to switch over here. I started working on a website on this. All right. This is a site I've been working on just to kind of, when we do launch it, a lot of the features and what you get with it and stuff like that. Again, combining it with the tradeometer is very important to have both of those. It's called the Futures Pack. and it features these entry modules or scripts. The buy divergence, that's the 1 minute scalping mode. Short divergence, 1 minute scalping mode. Buy divergence, Thunderbird script. 5 minute extended profit mode. And again, the same thing on the short side. And then the 2020 bull flag, it's scalping script. And I've sent out so many great videos on how to identify that. Now we have it on the bot. The bot will identify it for us and take a trade off of it also. Bear flag, the same thing. And the super signal. Now there's two super signals I referred to. One is the super signal when we have the 5 minute and the 1 minute combined. That is now done. The other super signal is when the tradeometer and the RockBot combine for an order entry at the same exact moment, or within that when they're both activated in that same time frame. And that is considered a super signal too. So two real good super signals, and you got them both. The original Gangster, one of the original scripts, it works great and has a kind of a safety net thing going on there. I'll go into more detail down on the bottom on these. High probability setup reversal candlestick identifier, which you can identify the candles there, which helps. I use the candles a lot in the identification of some setups. So when we look at a setup, we could also maybe see a candlestick that might be setting up. Let me see. Let's go back here. So again, look at this thing. Bing, bang, bing. I mean, the far and it works overnight too. But it works great, and in the chop, it really does. It works great. So where are we at now on it? So it's almost completed. I have a couple more audio alerts to put in. Meaning it does talk to us. If it does take an alert or take a trade, it will say what the trade is. That's very important, to be sitting on your desk and all of a sudden 5 minute super signal alert, or 1 minute buy divergence alert, or 5 minute short divergence alert. So we're going to have all those nice little audio alerts that are being added right now. The entry criteria, the parameters that you could take on this, is very important to understand that it's been coded to, how do I say this? That it's not, it just doesn't turn it on. You get to actually plan out how you want this thing to trade for you. Where you want to see the take your profits, where you want to have a trailing stop, where you want to have initial stop loss. All these things are parameters, that user inputs that you could use and will use to identify your own strategy. The setups, the patterns, the plays will be identified. The way you want to take these is going to be identified by yourself. But I would default work good, and I want to show you how you determine that. And actually, I'm determining that right now, running some optimization right now on another computer off of this. That's what this one is doing right now, and you can't see it because it's just working on the bottom here, still working. It's about halfway done. So we're going to continue to let that work, and I'm going to try to post the results of that in a bit. All right, let's see here. All right, here's a little in-depth look at the scripts that I've run. I'm running on this. Again, the 1 minute Thunderbird, the 5 minute Thunderbird, the original Gangster, the 2020 bull flag, the super signal, the reversal candle. Again, love everything about that. This is something that I've been teaching a long time. So there is a learning curve that you have to catch up to if you're just jumping into trading for the first time. I would get familiar with my style of trading, and just getting familiar with some of the terms of divergences. I would recommend a course if you want to take a look at a course on a lot of the methodology that I use is on the School of Stock, 2 courses that I put out on the divergences and on the whole methodology itself. So that's at theschoolofstock.com. I'll put the link in the page. I'll also put a link in the page for that 10-day trial so you could see all this in action. Come into our chat room at Day Trading Radio and test all this out as we bring it to the public and bring it to a main launch here. Just a couple weeks away from launching this. And again, the big news on this is I licensed it, protecting it, and we'll be able to release it to some members here at Day Trading Radio. We're gonna reserve it for some lifetime members. If you're interested in getting a lifetime, you will get this. You will be able to use this and trade for it, and it'll be yours. All right. Or we're gonna hold a minimum, or actually a limit to 50 here, 50 of those, and a lot of those are already taken up for people upgrading their lifetimes and stuff. So if it's something that you're interested in, at this point, definitely contact us here at DayTradingRadio.com, or on this video, or at RPM at DayTradingRadio.com. And let me get rid of this logo here. I don't know why that logo's on. That's a different logo. All right, there it is. Thank you. There's the official logo of the RockBot. I had an old logo up there. So that's it. That's an update on it, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have any questions, definitely get back to me. I will pause this until I get the results of some of my my back testing, and I could go over that, because I wanted to get an update on using some, just an update on the script and show you some results. All right, so I'll be right with you in a second. All right, I'm still waiting for the results of this back test, and just thinking about something too. Just like we have alerts on the HPS and any type of trade alerts on Day Trading Radio, we're going to have some alerts set up here. And what I'd like to do in the final version of this is to be able to have, alerts are now active. They're actually going into the room. They can go out to emails and stuff. We have it all set up. But I really want to have alerts. And again, this might sound kind of crazy, but I miss some really good setups around 3 o'clock in the morning. So the reason I wanted to get that 5-minute super signal, which combines the 1 minute and the 5 minutes, because those they have such a high probability. I mean, they're over 85% successful on identifying a potential big move and a longer than average move. So I want to be able to be ready for those. So I probably will eventually activate an alert that you can be woken up to, or that there will be a text message coming in. You're able to get text messages now, but to kind of be able to isolate it to a certain time frames too, because I would love to see if there's any divergences around 3 to 5 in the morning, when the algorithms are not competing with you, and you could actually get some pure moves on this. But those divergences work even better at that point. So I want to just continue to remind you, there's always updates coming on this thing. Just looking good right now. How do you like that logo? Waiting for the finishing this. This thing is, when you optimize it, it goes through so many combinations that it takes so long. It really needs a lot of processing power, computing power to do this. All right, that's just finally finished, and that was just based off of 1 month. I just optimized it here for the current month we're in, right till today. And, some of the results, again, I won't go into the whole platform until some other videos, but basically on the right hand, we could take all the parameters that you're going to be putting in, and you can make a range of them, and it will go through every single combination and tell you what was the highest performing combination. I'd like to look back at that and see how that matches up to me. Knowing this is a 5-minute time frame, it tells me that the first profit should be taken at 5 ticks, or a point in the tick, a little over a point. And then the second one should be taken at 11. And, and everything else here kind of in parentheses will tell you exactly where we want. The trailing stop takes very tight. And with a very tight trailing stop, it won't have much of a drawdown. Your actually max drawdown is at, what does that say, 70, I can't even tell, 73 or 33. I can't really see that too good. 73 or 30. That's not much when you're dealing with this formula if you have 5 contracts on. Now, I like I said, when we put this thing live, we're going to be using the MES, and you can use it anything you want, actually. You go over here, you pull down the list, and you can put up the MES and stuff. I don't think it's going to give me the same. I'm going to have to rerun it. I'm not going to do that right now. It's going to take too long. But The 1 minute gives even better results than this. This has come out with a profit factor about 75%, 40 total trades, 30 winning trades, 10 losing trades set at these parameters. It gives you an average, and what I like to see is probably an average between 2 and 3 trades a day, and that's why I like that 5-minute time frame. It lets you set it up pretty good, and it does some calculations if you wanted to run it, as throughout the month and stuff. But that's part of it. We're going to go into more detail on this type of optimization on this. Especially like the 1 minute was really rocking and rolling. But this is something I like because it gives you, maybe a couple trades a day that you really have to focus on. And when we have those alerts, we get in on them. And these are also the alerts, like I said, when we look at the tradeometer or the RockBot here, these setups, especially when we have the dual or super signal, you don't have to be in futures. You don't have to be in the futures. You could be in the SPY options. You could be in weekly options and buy those for pennies and get big moves and make 30, 40, 50 up to 200. It's really, the sky's the limit on how the market's going to react. But those are our high probability trades, and this is a great trade to take on a futures trade. Now let's see how I could show that. I've done a lot of videos on showing that. We'll do that the next video. We'll make this a video series. And I'll show you taking these high probability 5-minute super signals and trading those with the SPY calls and puts. Right now we trade the MES and the ES, or the NQs or the YM. And we use the tradeometer as a back it up as that now as it comes together as one package. When you get the RockBot, you also get the tradeometer. So that's a package right there. All right, I think that's about it. The bot will be back running here Sunday evening, 6 o'clock. I want to send this off on its way. I hope to see you in the markets next week. And I'll finish up with a video series on our next update on the RockBot. But take advantage of the lifetime sale and the sales for Black Friday to get in at a good price right now before we put this thing out there in full force and the price goes up. Have a great one. I'll see you next week.